And I talk a lot about what you guys are doing wrong with the KPIs. It's really not about wrong or right, just understanding what you're missing. Probably the best way I could put this is anytime you're looking at a number saying this is wrong, this is off, something's not working right, instead of like this is off, this is what it means, challenge yourself to what might be affecting that number. Did Susie have a bad day or a bad night? That may be affecting that number, right? You have to start asking yourself these questions. The best thing you could do as an entrepreneur, business owner, real estate investor is ask yourself the questions that you haven't been asking yourself, right? Look for the different perspectives so that you get a full picture and then you can make a decision on what you want to do. So with the KPIs, you have to really dive into them, right? They're meant to be numbers that if it's off, it signals, hey, I need to look into this deeper, and then you drill into it a little bit further. So take something as simple as connects, right? It's a great number, a lot of people measure it, but it doesn't tell you whether it's a good connect or a bad connect, right? So you may have a high connect rate that day, but also a really high wrong number rate, right? If somebody picks up the phone to tell you wrong number, that's a connection. It's not a good connection. It's not the person we want to be talking to. Now, that doesn't mean it's the wrong number. It may be our script. It may be the way we're starting out the call. Maybe they had a bad day. I've had sellers, when I call them, hang up the phone on me because you could hear screaming kids in the back, and I call them 3 hours later at a better time and say, hey, is this a better time now? Yet I don't hear the kids screaming in the back, right? Look at the connection that I make off of something that somebody would have just been like, wrong number, I'm not gonna call them back. So you got to dive into those KPIs and really understand it. One of the best things you could do in some of that when you start to drill down and get deeper is listen to the recordings of these calls. Like if you actually, from an outside perspective, and say you have a team, they're doing these calls, they're saying, hey, we're having a lot of bad conversations, right? Cool, like go grab the recordings, listen to them, see what's up. If you're in that person's shoes getting that call, how are you responding to that? You know, what's the tweak you can make off of that? What's the feedback that you can give your team on just making better calls? We used to do call review sessions with new people once a day at the end of the day, sometimes twice a day if they needed it, once a week, once a month, whatever we felt appropriate, just to help people be better on the phones, where we would sit there and listen to the recorded calls with them and you know, dissect it. What'd you hear here? This is what I hear. Let's see how the call continues. So it's a transfer of knowledge in doing that, of just making them better on the phone. But what's bigger than that is for any of us, and whether it's you as a business owner, you as a salesperson, you're on your own, you have a team, I don't care what it is, be on the outside looking in, right? So listen to your own recorded call and you're gonna hear stuff that you do and be like, oh man, I could have said that better. Or wow, I didn't catch that the first time. Yeah, I can do this. Here's how I can connect with that person on the other end of the line better. A lot of that is in the call recordings, even, you know, put aside the KPIs, but the KPIs will tell you which calls to go listen to, right? So these are the little tweaks that you can find inside of the numbers without going and changing everything, without like, oh man, it's not working, I have to design a whole new system, or I need to go find somebody else's program that I could buy and go change my business every 3 months because this little piece isn't working. You shouldn't be reinventing the wheel over and over again, because you're never going to get to a steady point. You're never going to get to a machine that's working for you. You're just always getting sucked into trying to fix a problem that doesn't even really exist. When you get in, drill down on this stuff and you get into the deeper numbers, you can really figure out what's going on. So whatever the KPI is, look at it, look at the performance, ask yourself, okay, what am I missing? What's driving this? Did this change week to week, month to month? What did I change? What's different? I mean, these are the questions you start asking yourself where you really start to figure out, okay, this is how I build a marketing machine that confidently works, that when I'm spending money putting into this machine as an owner, as an investor, I know what I'm gonna get out. And I have the confidence that if something breaks one week, I can look at things and fix it and tweak it for the next week and get better results. That's the ultimate game, where you're running marketing for your business and it's feeding what you're doing instead of just running around like a chicken with your head cut off trying to figure out how to pour leads in or get more people on the phone that don't even want to talk to you. So I know that's a lot of information, and KPIs, for most people, that's where your head starts spinning, right? You just want to be on the phones, talking to more buyers, talking to more sellers, doing more deals. This is really kind of mathematics, scientific stuff, the way I'm talking about it. Don't stress about it too much. The point of all this is understanding a couple key components. One, don't take drastic measures when it's something's not working, right? Get to the numbers, let the numbers tell you what's happening. Dive deeper, ask yourself the deeper question of that number. Peel the onion back a little bit. What's this number really telling me, right? As long as you start to look at stuff that way and ask yourself what might be affecting this number that I haven't thought about before. Keep yourself in those two places and the KPIs will get a lot simpler. If they start to get more complicated, bring yourself back to the simplicity. What am I really trying to do here? Is this really working? Or do I need to tweak this? Or is it something I haven't thought about yet that's going on here? So just keep your mind open for that. Cut the emotion out of it. You have to get some of these numbers in place in order to get yourself to a place where there's no emotion, where it's just like, let me see what the numbers are telling me. Focus on that really simply. Let the numbers tell you what's going on. Ask the questions of the numbers, and your machine will start to continue to grow, and then you can dive deeper as you start to understand these KPIs at a different level.